far better. It's quicker in turns and stuff like that, so he just needs now to figure out a way to be more aggressive the whole time that he's riding. So we look forward to seeing what Sam Lowes does in Moto 2 with the Gresini team. It'll certainly be one to watch out for. Moto 3 world champion Danny Kent came in 5th fastest at Jerez testing. He basically took to the track with his new teammate, the man that he beat to the championship last year, Miguel Oliveira, and he was just 0.323 seconds behind the fastest time of the session set by Alex Rins. So that's looking really, really good for Danny Kent in Moto 2 as well. And remember, Danny Kent was the first British world champion since Barry Sheene way back in 1977. So as he is only 21 years old, we can look forward to see him progressing in the top series as well. Wouldn't it be a dream come true if he could go Moto 3, Moto 2 and then up into the MotoGP class? That would be fantastic to see. We're not saying that he's going to walk it or anything like that, because at the end of the day he's going to have stiff competition from all the guys that are in there, especially the likes of Sam Lowes, who's so hungry and so determined that he can win the title on this new bike as well. So we look forward to seeing what happens in Moto 2 in 2016, and on Motorcycle Sports Radio here on the Weekly Review we will bring you all the news as it comes in.
You're listening to Motorcycle Sports Radio from the Motorcycle Sports Radio Centre.
And in World Superbikes, Johnny Rea had really, really quick time in testing there. He'd done a 140.139 at Jerez, which is basically very, very close indeed to the absolute World Superbike track best of 140.292 set by his teammate Kawasaki Racing Team's Tom Sykes last year. Rea made a collection of 140.6 laps overall, while Sykes had most of his best in the 140.7 bracket. But all but the slowest two riders improved on their day one best, but Sykes had a high side crash that stopped his day early, losing the back and exiting turn 3. He was still second fastest with 140.508. So Johnny Rea looking really, really good in World Superbikes for 2016. Obviously he is the world champion. He's going to have a point to prove. He's got a title to defend. There's records to be broken. So disappointed that he didn't quite make Colin Edwards' points total for last year, but at the end of the day he's got another crack of the whip. This Kawasaki bike is obviously only going to get better, isn't it? Kawasaki are firmly hungry for the World Superbike crown. Of course they are indeed. So we look forward to seeing Johnny Rea going forward. Look forward to seeing Tom Sykes going forward as well. Obviously these tests it's not the championship, is it? But if it's looking good for them there, it means they're comfortable on the bikes. They're comfortable with the changes that are being made on the bikes as well for the 2016 season. So well done, Johnny Rea. Fastest man out there, almost the fastest man outright since the record was set by Tom Sykes last year. So 140.139 compared to 140.292 by Tom Sykes last year. So he was pretty damn close to the fastest World Superbike times ever round there.
You're listening to Motorcycle Sports Radio from the Motorcycle Sports Radio Centre.
Also in World Superbikes, Marco Melandri has taken to the track as the MV Agusta test pilot before Leon Camier gets the bike. Melandri, MV Agusta World Superbike, finished his 2-day testing, having made improvements to the front end and to the electronics in a test that may lead to more for him, because remember, it has been talked about widely about, and he's been very public about the fact that he didn't have a ride for the upcoming season, and he was prepared to work for free as well. He just wanted to race the bike. bike, and I think at the end of the day that shows how much these guys want to win and they want to be out there on the bike. And when he's saying he doesn't want to get paid for the damn thing, it definitely shows that he's hungry for it. So basically he didn't run a transponder when he was doing the testing, and he basically is going to be replaced by regular team rider Leon Camier on Thursday and Friday at those tests as well. So we wish Marco Melandri all the very best. It's nice to see him back and being involved in things as well. So good luck to him and to Leon Camier on the MV Agusta for 2016. So also in World Superbikes, as we know, Nicky Hayden has made the move from MotoGP. The former MotoGP World Champion has moved to World Superbikes. A very popular man he is too. It's great to know that he's going to be in the World Superbike paddock in 2016 as well. Hell of a lot of experience he's bringing with him. So he's basically signed up with Honda, as we know, and he has, earlier in the month, he's taken basically his first laps on the CBR 1000 RRSP at Motorland, and he basically got out for a couple of wet laps to see how he felt on the bike. Obviously the riding position and the power delivery is very, very different to what you have in MotoGP as well, so he has to get used to all that. But I think he's very impressed from what he sees so far. At the end of the day, he's going out there, he's going to be in this to win this. He's not there just to make up the numbers. At the end of the day, the man's a former MotoGP World Champion. He's coming in there, and there's no reason why he can't be competitive and at the top as well. Let's just hope the Honda's up to the business and Honda is able to do what everybody is hoping that it is able to do as well. But it's a big name signing for Honda, and we look forward to seeing Nicky Hayden in the 2016 World Superbike Championship with the Honda racing team.
You're listening to Motorcycle Sports Radio from the Motorcycle Sports Radio Centre.
In BSB, James Ellison was 5th fastest overall at Jerez testing. Basically, Ellison has put in a really good time to get him 5th fastest on his 2016 spec Kawasaki, and basically he was doing that on a completely stock motor. He came in just ahead of World Supersport man Kenan Sofuoglu, 4-time World Supersport champion Kenan Sofuoglu. That's no easy feat, but things are looking good then for James Ellison on the Kawasaki and the JG Speedfit team, and obviously they have official factory backing as well, so it will be interesting to see how he gets on the JG Speedfit Kawasaki in BSB, along with his new teammate Peter Hickman, who I feel or who I know is also going to be riding the JG Speedfit Kawasaki on the road too. And of course Hickman has just won the Macau Grand Prix for the RAF Reserves BMW team, his last race with them, and he wins a race for them, a roads race for them, so that is absolutely fantastic as well. So absolutely delighted for Ellison, delighted for Hickman too. Also in BSB, Danny Buchan, 2-time Sunflower Trophy winner, has joined Moto Rapido Ducati for 2016. So the 22-year-old Essex man basically has moved on from the Beweiser Kawasaki, and then basically was with Paul Bird Motorsport Kawasaki for the last couple of races of the season, wasn't it? Or wasn't he? So it's really, really good to see him getting a ride. As far as I know, they'll only be running one bike, so he's going to have the focus of all their attention, and at the end of the day, this young lad's hungry. He's definitely one to watch. He's that hungry for it in BSB. You see him, and he pushes so hard sometimes, and obviously they all come off at times, but definitely a strong finish to the season for him, because again, he's won one of the last races of the season at the Sunflower Trophy. That's 2 years on the trot. I've seen him win that, and boy, he looks impressive when he's out there as well. So best of luck to Danny Buchan, the 22-year-old Essex boy. We look forward to seeing him in BSB on the Moto Rapido Ducati in 2016. So you're listening to Motorcycle Sports Radio, and this is the weekly review. On to the roads now. Basically, the Cumbrian rider Tom McHale, who was injured in a high-speed crash at the ultra-fast Mandarin Bend during the second qualified session for this year's Macau Grand Prix on Friday, is now in a stable condition in hospital. So he is stable but serious. So we wish him a very, very speedy recovery. We wish his family well as well. So it is good to know that he is stable, although the condition is still very, very serious indeed. So best of luck to the Cumbrian Tom McHale. We wish him a speedy recovery. In other roads news as well, Manxman Dan Neen has signed for Martrain Yamaha for the 2016 TT and Roads campaign. So obviously we know, everybody knows that Dean Harrison has moved on to the Silicone engineering team, and I know that machinery is yet to be confirmed. Manxman Dan Neen did have a spell there with Paget's Honda. It didn't work out too well for him being teammate to Bruce Anstey. I think he basically excelled more and did a lot better when he was on the Burroughs Cookstown engineering bike a couple of years ago than he did last year, because let's face it, going from a one bike team and being the main man up into a team like Paget's, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was a bit star-striking for him being next to the likes of Anstey. I doubt that very much. Maybe he just didn't get on that well with the bike, but let's just say, what he achieved in 2014 with the results and podiums that he got, that just shows you what he's made of. And I know that Martrain boss Tim Martin has obviously seen that potential as well. So we're looking forward to seeing what Dan Neen does on the R1 and R6s, especially having the backing of such a great team as well. I feel he'll be a fantastic ambassador. I was very sad to see Dean Harrison leaving Martrain, because Dean's always one of the most friendly guys around the paddock. He's always smiling and stopping for pictures with fans and stuff like that there. So we'll be interested. I'm sure he will still, even though he's with Silicone Engineering. We'll look forward to seeing what bike that Dean Harrison's going to be on as well. But Dan Neen anyway, Martrain Yamaha for 2016 TT and Roads. So we wish him the best of luck.
You're listening to Motorcycle Sports Radio from the Motorcycle Sports Radio Centre.
And finally on the roads, we'll have to talk a wee bit about Peter Hickman being the main man at the Macau Grand Prix, and it was basically a perfect swan song for the RAF Reserves BMW. He's basically said that the win that he's had for them after being with them for 18 months with Lee Hardy's RAF Reserves BMW was just the perfect sort of repayment for them after them giving them a ride after Simon Andrews was sadly killed at the Northwest 200. So well done to RAF Reserves BMW, the Lee Hardy racing team, and to Peter Hickman for winning the Macau Grand Prix. I know that what I see on Twitter, he's now in Jerez today. There's some testing going on there for him as well. But from what I've seen of the pictures, he was enjoying the sunshine very, very much. So I am looking forward to seeing this guy on better machinery, especially for the roads next year, because as we all know, he was the fastest ever newcomer to the Isle of Man TT a couple of years ago. So he's only going to build on that. Obviously, he was at the Ulster Grand Prix and had his first win and stuff like that as well. In most cases there, he was riding the super stocker. Now he's going to be on an out-and-out superbike. He's going to have the machinery under him, the technology under him. So we wish Hickey all the best for 2016, and well done to Lee Hardy Racing Team as well. Absolutely fantastic to get that win over there in Macau. And in Speedway now, three-time world champion Greg Hancock is determined for a better start to the 2016 World Championship than he had last year. He has basically said that he knows the things that he wants to work on, and he doesn't want a situation like he had last year where he was just struggling right from the start. So he needs a little bit of bike time before he heads back to the States. So he's working hard to make sure that the mistakes of last year don't happen the way that they did again. Now obviously he finished the season very, very strongly. Obviously he's ranked number 2 now. He was runner-up to Ty Woofenden. So it'll be fantastic to see this guy. And remember, he's 45 years old, guys. He's 45 years old and he's still determined to go out there and win world championships. So Greg Hancock, absolute legend of a guy, and let's wish him well for an absolutely fantastic Speedway World Championship 2016.
You're listening to Motorcycle Sports Radio from the Motorcycle Sports Radio Centre.
staying with Speedway now, the 2016 Speedway Grand Prix rider numbers have been confirmed. And Ty Wiffenden is number 108, who's ranked number 1. Greg Hancock is number 45, who's ranked number 2. Nicky Peterson from Denmark is riding on the number 3 as well as being ranked number 3. And number 88, Niels Christian Iversen, is ranked number 4 from Denmark. And number 69, Jason Doyle from Australia, who is ranked number 5. So we'll keep you up to date with the Speedway Grand Prix news as it happens as well, and we'll maybe do a wee bit of following of the league and the club stuff as well as time goes on here on Motorcycle Sports Radio on the weekly review. Also coming up on the show at a later date as well, as we move into 2016, we are going to be covering